Hi everyone, I thought it was about time I did a solar update. So, I've done quite a lot of network code on the ESP32 in order to get things working correctly. At the moment this thing connects to my workshop router, and I don't really want it to do that. I want it to connect to my house router. But I've had all sorts of problems and I was thinking, why won't it connect? Why won't it connect? But it's actually because of the range of the router. It can connect to the one in the house, but it just seems to disconnect. It seems like it's on the edge of its range or something like that. So there's a bit of an issue there. It connects to the workshop router now, but the problem with that is that the workshop router is on the very electric system which this thing controls. So if for some reason it gets turned off, like if you go to the system here and switch the whole lot off, it would switch its own router off, which is a bit daft really. So ideally I want it to go to the house, but anyway, that's one problem. Now I've actually done something else to this. I've changed the display slightly, so instead of it saying connected, yes, it goes further. So now what constitutes to connected? Well, actually there's two types of connected. There's connected to the Wi-Fi or the router, and there's connected to my server. And it's possible for it to be connected to Wi-Fi but not the server, and that's why I've changed it. So over here, I don't know if it's going to let me show you. Let's bring the camera over here. It's going to work. Yeah, you can just about see it says connected Wi-Fi. So that's what I've done there. Let me just put this tripod back. Yeah, so that's some of the networking code I've been doing. I've been trying to get this ESP32 to reconnect to the Wi-Fi, and I've actually found that it does that by default. You don't need to code it, you don't need to program it to reconnect. It does it on its own. So you connect once at the startup, and if it loses connection it tries to reconnect on its own, and that's really cool. But the actual server, that's not, it doesn't work like that. The actual server, when that's disconnected, it's all done by software to get it to reconnect. So I've done some changes to that too, and yeah, that's that problem dealt with. Now I said just then that I really want it to connect to the house router and not the workshop router. Now the range of this thing, it seems to be on its limits, but I've read the documentation for the ESP32 and it seems that this thing is quite directional. The ESP32 is directional. Now my router is that way, well actually that way, and the other router is that way, but this router down here, the workshop one that's connected to, isn't that far away. It's about I'd say about 12 meters, something like that, and it's pretty much from this shed wall here, it's pretty much clear straight to the router, whereas this way I'd say it's probably about 15 meters or so, but it's through several walls, probably about 3 or 4 walls, so that's probably why it won't connect. But yeah, going back to documentation, I found that this here, the face of the chip, has the strongest directional reception, if you like. So really, where this is pointing this way, where there's no router, I think it should be pointing that way. So if I was to rotate the chip 90 degrees, I think it might work, but that's something for the future anyway. And now another problem that I have, which I'll just go into, I just zoom over here. This nano, it stops responding every now and again. So you can see now, let me just make sure. Well, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this thing's blinking. Let me try and get a bit closer. Yeah, you can see it blinking. And every time it blinks, it sends data to the ESP32, which is of course here. And yeah, it stops responding. I don't know why, but it will just stop transmitting data. Now, that's a bit unusual for it to do that. There doesn't seem to be any pattern or anything like that, other than maybe time. It seems to be like once every day or every 2 days or something like that. And I've got my suspicions, and I think it may be a memory leak. So I think there might be a memory leak, it runs out of memory and it crashes. And as soon as you reset it, which of course these things take a while to to work out what's going on and work out a solution. As soon as I reset it, it works straight away. So that's another problem. I'll need to address that at some point soon. Now, so I've gone over those issues, and now I think it's time to just focus in a slightly different area. So I'll just zoom out here and let's get this screen focused properly. I've made another change to the actual code itself, and I've changed from having a light-based sort of system to a time-based system. So instead of it switching on and off depending on light, it now switches on and off less times just depending on time. And I thought I'd just go through these graphs and just show you, well, just illustrate it, I suppose. So here's the power source on and off times. I haven't completely finished this, by the way, but it turns on at around about 7 AM and it turns off at around about 3 PM. There you can see the solar voltage. I think I'll zoom in a bit more actually. There you can see the solar voltage, and there you can see the solar amperage, the wattage. Now the battery voltage, now this is quite an important one, but you can see that at its lowest point it goes down to 24.8-ish. And yeah, I need to try and avoid that really. I need to try and keep it high, within reason. Of course batteries are there to be used, but I need to try and keep it high-ish, and certainly not let it go low overnight, which it has done a little bit here, but you know, 25 volts, that's not too bad. Battery charge, I'm not too interested in that at the moment. Battery drain, so this is if the inverter's on or off, of course. Now, down here we have a problem. I'll just zoom out a bit. We have a problem there. So this is from the current shunt on the ADS 1015, and it's reading noise, and I don't know what this noise is from. Over here you can see it's a straight 0. The inverter's off, so therefore it's pulling 0 amps, and that's right. Over here it's on, and when the inverter's on, of course it's going to pull some current, and it pulls an amp, which sounds about right. But over here, I don't know what this is. This is noise here, but I don't know what the cause is, and that needs to be solved. But if you look over here, 23 PM, there's nothing, there's no trigger or anything, so I don't know the cause of that. Anyway, that's still an outstanding issue which I need to sort out. And then light. So it's been a bit of a funny day today. Look at that. Usually it goes up in sort of just zoom in. Usually it sort of goes like this, in like a small N shape, but today it's gone like that, so it's a bit weird. Anyway, so that's how we're going, and you can see the on times over here. It's really simple. There's no switching on and off like crazy anymore. It's just on at about 7 and off at about 3. And this seems to be working well, although we need to see a bit more really. One of the most important things is the battery voltage overnight, and you can see here that I'll need to zoom out actually. You may be able to see here, let's go over there, that the battery voltage yesterday was 25, and then it dipped down. I mean, 7 o'clock here, that's when the inverter was turned on, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment. But its lowest point here was about 24.9, and I think that's okay. But over the next few days I'll see if I'll need to make any adjustments here, because I used to keep this high. I used to keep this at 25.4 at sundown, so then it would reach probably 25.2 or something like that, and then turn back on. So I need to investigate if this is going to be harmful for the batteries or not, and then take some sort of action. But obviously, if I do want to keep it topped up overnight, then what I'll need to do is charge it up before night time, so that it remains high until the morning. Or alternatively, I could turn solar off earlier in the day and give it maybe the last hour or more of sun to be able to charge itself up. So there are the options. Anyway, I thought it would be an interesting thing to show you, and thank you for watching. Bye!